Welcome to our session, Pixel to Projector, in discussion with Logan Paul on digital creators jumping from mobile to the big screen. Please welcome our moderator, digital talent agent at Creative Artists Agency, Andrew Graham.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for spending some time with us this afternoon. And a big thanks to Logan. Thank you for coming in. Logan has a really compressed production schedule, so we appreciate you finding the time to hang out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we've got 30 minutes with Logan. We'll leave a little time toward the very end for some questions. Since there's probably varying degrees of familiarity with the creative class you represent, maybe you can give the room a quick sort of sample. How did all this start for you? I mean, you started on a platform that doesn't even really exist
anymore. Rest in peace, Vine. Tragic. Yeah, okay, so cool. What's up, guys? My name is Logan Paul. I started on this platform called Vine, and slowly my internet/digital career blossomed from there. I had been making videos on YouTube for 8 years, so from 10 years old to 18 years old, shooting YouTube videos, and never got the traction that I would have liked. 8 years, 4,000 subscribers, which was nothing. Then Vine came out, and for whatever reason, I flourished on this platform. Went to college, continued to grow my Vine account, and then that slowly transitioned into making Instagram videos, Facebook videos, and now YouTube videos. So I'm kind of doing everything right now, but Vine is where I started. And my goal, the reason I moved out to LA and dropped out of college after a year was to pursue entertainment beyond social media. So I fulfill the space of a digital star who wants to break into traditional media. And so that's what we're working on right now.
That's perfect. That's exactly what this panel is about. So this is a two-part question. What is the role of collaboration toward those very early days for you, right, with the Batches, the Amanda Cerny's of the world, and now today, where you're rubbing shoulders with Kevin Hart and The Rock?
Yeah. So if you don't know who King Batch and Amanda Cerny are, they're fellow internet creators, some of the biggest people on the internet. And when I first started, I mean, even now still, collaborations are huge. They help you grow and cross-promote, exchange audiences, which is always phenomenal. But when I'm doing collaborations with The Rock and Kevin Hart, which I've been fortunate and lucky enough to have done recently, and our collaborations have killed it, to me, the role, to answer your question, is that it elevates who I am and what my brand is. Because when you're doing videos like I've always been doing, but with A-list celebrities, not only does that make people think of you or one in a different way, I also think as a whole, digital stars get a little bit more respect. Oh, now he's working with The Rock, Kevin Hart, Justin Bieber, and I think it's good for everyone that does what I do.
Right. I mean, Kevin and The Rock get something out of this too, right? By collaborating.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, they have, a huge reach and a huge audience, huge exposure, but every time they collab with me, kids who may not know who Kevin Hart is or what The Rock does now do. And if they're in the middle of promoting a movie or a show, whatever their thing is, I bring a lot of eyeballs to that.
He's being modest. He is the most viewed creator in the world on Facebook.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop it.
Someone's got to brag for you. So, as you sort of built your chops in digital, some of those, I would imagine some of those skill sets have transitioned over into kind of longer form content. You have this really, really cool project that landed on Watchable called Logan Paul Versus. Can you talk a little bit about that? What was that process? What was your role in it?
Cool. So Logan Paul Versus. Honestly, I don't know how this show is legal, but we did it. I was sitting on an airplane with my manager. We're like, yo, we should do a show that no one else is dumb enough to do. And we came up with Logan Paul Versus. Basically, I just faced off against a bunch of crazy stuff that digital creators or traditional celebrities are not doing because they're probably too afraid to do it. I don't really have that in my brain. Like Logan Paul versus Wilderness. I survived in the wilderness for 48 hours. I did a 24-hour Navy SEAL death camp. I did ballet. I coached a Pee Wee football team to a championship. I wrestled a fucking bear, which was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. But this was bought by Comcast, it's watchable, and we shot 10-minute episodes. It lives on their platform, and it's absolutely dominating because my audience loves to watch me do crazy things, and wrestling a bear qualifies for that.
Yeah, pretty dangerous.
Yeah, terrifying.
And so on a project like that, it sounds like this was something you ideated from the beginning. You went out, you pitched.
Yeah.
What was your role were you executive producer, writer, actor? Were you everything, or was there?
No, so we thought about how we wanted to do it, and being director, actor, writer, producer, everything is sort of a hard thing to do.
Sure. It's almost how you came up, though.
Exactly. So for a skinny minute there, we considered just having me kind of do everything. But we decided that we, in order to make it top notch, we wanted to hire a director. So we brought in this guy named Bennett Silverman. Great director. So we wrote the episodes together, and then we talk about the creative and how that would work. And we went out, got a team, and became a pretty big production, and then shot the episodes.
So when Watchable does a deal with you, right? Is it simply the traditional, like, here's a talent fee to go do your thing? Because as you mentioned, you bring a lot of audience to bear. Is there a separate fund for promotion? How does that look in these type of deals?
So there is a flat fee, but within that flat fee, and Watchable knows this, and not with just me, when you hire a social media star to do a project, they can act in it, and then they're also the marketing in it. So
Right.
when I'm doing Logan Paul versus behind the scenes, I'm like, yo, how am I gonna get eyeballs on this right now? Snapchat it, Instagram story it, vlog it. Anything that I know will build hype for when it actually comes out. Because after all, again, it is my brand. When I release this, I want it to get eyeballs. I want people to see it. I want people to think of me like as that crazy guy who does outrageous things.
Right. That makes complete sense. And as you sort of like take a look at that particular project, were there certain skills that you had developed in digital that you used to cross over into this project? Because it feels a little digital innate too, right?
Yeah. We knew what characters I had played in my digital stuff that worked and that people would like. And Ben had always told me this, it's the lovable idiot. So we'd go into these things, and I'm always playing this character who like thinks, like for Logan Paul versus Lucha Libre, I walked in, I was like, give me your biggest guy, and he beat my ass. And then I don't learn, and he keeps beating my ass and beating my ass. Eventually,
Right.
I win at the end. So we made each episode have a story arc, and we developed this character, which I guess, to answer your question, I pretty much created from my digital career.
Right. So you're almost creating the opportunities for you now.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a great thing. A lot of the stuff that I do and make beyond my internet videos, whether it's a series, whether it's a film, I can create them exactly how I want to play them and create these characters that are like dream roles for me.
Right. Well, that's the perfect segue. So you have another project called Airplane Mode that we should
Airplane
talk
Mode.
about. Let's talk about it.
Okay, cool. Airplane Mode. This is a movie I wrote. It took 2 years to write with two guys, David Dinetz and Dylan Trussell, who are actually the directors of the film. And it stars 20 of the biggest social media stars in the world. We shove them all on an airplane, and kids, who live and die on their cell phones when the flight attendant says, buckle your seatbelts, put your tray tables up, and throw your phones in airplane mode. None of them do it. Now, in real life, what happens when you don't put your phone in airplane mode? I don't know. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. In this world, extreme cellular interference takes over. The pilots kind of maybe die, and it's my character's job to save the day, even though his biggest fear is the fear of flying.
And what your role in this is acting in it?
It's me. I play Logan Paul, but it's a character of Logan Paul. He's kind of like afraid, like doesn't want to fly, but has this girlfriend he wants to visit in Australia. And everyone plays an exaggerated version of themselves. So we didn't really have to ask these internet creators to go too far out of their comfort zone.
Right.
And we knew that we played to everyone's strengths, and that's why the movie is so great.
And I have to imagine, like, you're baking 20 of the biggest names in this space, and that's going to play into the marketing a bit, right?
Yeah, so this was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, trying to get all these kids in one movie, because, like, dude, I am one. Like, social media stars, they have egos, they have their own agendas. It's like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. I sat them all down separately, because you cannot get them together.
Team up on you.
Yeah, exactly. They'll team up on you. So I sat them down separately, and I was like, hey, this is my thing. Like, as a friend, would you want to do this? Just read the script. Tell me what you think, whatever. The script spoke for itself. Luckily, the script is fucking great. So they were all into it. And like you said, built-in audience of 500 million people. And when the movie comes out, everyone's gonna know about it.
Right, right. And I guess there's actually a lot of films that are bubbling up like this, right? So there's a film at Sundance right now called Before I Fall that has a guy named Kean Lawley in it who's an influencer, right? But like, is it the responsibility of the influencer entirely to carry these movies? Like, what's the secret sauce? Does a studio still need to like put up marketing? Where is that meaningful? Like, are billboards meaningful? You're all over LA and on the side of buses. You're everywhere.
Yeah. So depends who you ask. For me, no matter what show I'm doing, especially if it's like a show that's like airplay mode or like Logan Paul versus, I kind of take that under my wing and take the responsibility of promoting it. I had this other movie, The Thinning, come out on YouTube Red.
YouTube Red.
Yeah. So I mean, when we started, I was like, how can I get people knowing and interested about The Thinning? Everything I was conceptualizing and figuring out different ways I could make this movie the most anticipated thing of 2015 or 2016. So although it's helpful when the studio gets involved, I don't rely on it and I don't plan on it happening. Because if it doesn't, that sucks. And then B, also, like, I know how to promote stuff and I'm really good at it. So why don't I just do it myself and get people hyped myself?
Right. When, you know, you brought up YouTube Red. There was like an anxiety toward the beginning with that particular subscription service. Does everyone know what YouTube Red is? Yeah, it's a subscription service that YouTube launched. Okay, it's sort of like a Netflix competitor. That, you know, if you were in a YouTube Red series, it might like cannibalize some of your audience. Did you find that happened, or was it
Cannibalize?
meaning, you know, it took away some of your viewership?
Or
did it help you? Did you feel?
I thought it helped me because when The Thinning came out, I was not really a YouTuber. Like, even now, I'm like a young YouTuber. I do vlogs. Hey, that vlog life, you wouldn't know this. But I don't yet consider myself a 100% YouTuber.
Right.
So when The Thinning came out, I was bringing an audience from Facebook. I was bringing an audience from Instagram, from Twitter. And so I talked to the YouTube Red people. They loved it because it wasn't your typical people watching YouTube videos. It's like a whole new audience that wants to see my stuff and what I'm doing.
So as you mentioned all these different platforms, it's not the same content you're putting on each platform, right? So can you walk us through just briefly, like, how do you program Facebook versus Twitter versus Instagram? Like, what are the uses of these platforms?
So it's a little easier now because Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they all allow you to do at least 60-second videos. But I'll tailor content for each platform. So YouTube, if I have a sketch that's a minute and a half, like one of my most famous sketches is with my dwarf friend. His name is Dwarf Mamba. It's called Best Friends.
Yeah, that went insanely viral.
Insane.
What's the number on it now?
250 million on Facebook.
Wow.
Which is like, I don't know what the most viewed video on Facebook is, but like I would bet that it's top 5.
Top 10, top 5.
Yeah. I know no video has hit 1 billion, and for a while there I thought that could do it. But yeah, on YouTube it's a minute and a half. On Facebook I tailored it down to a minute and like 5. Just because you can have the freedom on YouTube to do the little bit of longer content, but Facebook, there's sort of a formula, an arc, and Instagram as well. You want to take people on this roller coaster ride, but they get bored really fast. Vine, the platform I started out on, 6-second videos. Like, kids' attention spans nowadays are just shortening and shortening. It sucks, but like, it's the world we live in, so you have to get to the punch quick.
Right. And if you are, I mean, sometimes these platforms are used to promote other content, but if it's your own owned and operated content, right? So did you promote, for instance, that amazing video you did with like Kevin Hart on Facebook? Did you use other platforms to drive to it?
No, because I posted that on pretty much all my other platforms. I could, but the reason I don't is because if I post it on Facebook and not Instagram and I say, hey, go watch this on Facebook, someone else is going to post it on Instagram who's not me, and they're going to be stealing my content. Granted, we can give them a copyright strike, but that's after they've hit 5 million views and have gained the following. So everything, my IP and on
goes
my
on your
stuff.
platforms.
Yeah.
Got it. So as you're finding yourself, like with the Kevin, right, on like a traditional set of a project, could be like Baywatch or something. Is there friction ever between a traditional actor and people from your creative class, YouTubers, internet stars?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. Now, not always, but you will come across the actor who's like, he shuns social media stars.
Sure.
A lot of them are very, I am an actor and I earned this. And they did, but there's no reason to hate the kids who earned it on their own.
Sure.
And I have not come across that like an insane amount of times, but unfortunately it does happen.
Right.
And like I said, not a problem I deal with, but I know it's a thing in the industry.
Sure, there's probably like an anxiety that like your group hasn't done the work, so to speak. So like,
I think that's what it is, but like in reality, we've probably done more work because we're doing everything. Like
sure.
We are acting, we are producing, creating, editing, like everything.
So what is the role of like, you think for like your group with like traditional support system, like acting, improv, managers, agents? Is it the same as traditional Hollywood? Do you think it's intrinsically different?
It depends because each social media star wants to do something different. I want to act and I want to be a huge entertainer. So my team is helping me get into the audition room. My team's helping
Who's
me.
the team for you?
So I got manager Jeffrey Levin right there and agent Paul Kazers over at CAA.
Uh-huh.
And a couple others. We got our lawyers, business managers, and another agent, CAA, Jack Wiggum. So these guys are freaking powerhouses.
Right.
And they believe in me, sometimes more than I believe in myself. And they're like, yo, you got this. So they'll send me to meetings with some of the biggest directors, and slowly but surely making a dent in Hollywood.
Sure. So it's like the same entourage that's around you. Like you are as supported as any other major actor, writer, producer.
Totally, yeah. And I think like team, that concept is so important because although I can do the internet stuff by myself, which is still like really fucking hard.
Sure.
The team is what's gonna take me to that next level of extreme success.
Right. All right, so we've got a couple more minutes before we jump into questions. So the last couple things I want to chat with you about. One, like, are all these new platforms, you've got all the Verizon platforms that have popped up, you've got YouTube Red that's there, you've got tons of digital buyers now. Do you, from your vantage point, do you view them all equally, right? Or is there like, does YouTube Red seem like a more mature piece of business? As you take a project and you look at like Logan does, as you look across this landscape, what sort of percolates for you? What's interesting?
So for me, like I said, I want to expand. I can do digital. I know I can. But like the idea of a movie hitting theaters or even a movie being on Netflix, which by the way, like what is Netflix? Is it digital? Is
sure.
It, you know, is exciting to me. YouTube Red is cool. It's exciting. It's fun. And it's like my home pretty much, which is why I love it. But I like the idea of being well-versed on every subscription service or even theatrical releases.
Right. And then lastly, you know, what is your view of, because a big part of like the pie chart of like how you make a living is probably like endorsements, right? It's working with brands, right? So what's like your vision of working with brands? Like what is like the best way to approach it? Because when a brand engages with you, I mean, they're basically adopting your audience in a way. You're sort of a creative director.
Yeah. The best success that I've found with brands is when I find one that is willing to do what I want to do, a brand that is kind of hands off and say, Logan, we trust you, we trust your vision, go ahead and just go, create. It's when brands try to get their hands involved and try to tell me like how to make my own content that I'm like, okay, like, and I get it, they have to be protective, don't get me wrong, I don't argue, I'm just like, I would have liked to do that thing, but I will come up with something new for you.
Yeah, it's that word trust, right?
Yeah.
It has to be trust on both sides.
It has to be trust on both sides. And like I said, I get it. Brands, my brand included, like every brand needs to protect their brand.
Sure.
How are you going to let a 21-year-old chotch with blonde hair and blue eyes take over? You know, it's not easy.
Right.
But yeah.
When they reach 250 million people with it.
Then it gets a little easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So I figure we might open up to questions here. We've got about 9-ish minutes left. Is there anyone in the room with a question for Logan? Yes.
Yo, Logan, when you, hey, what's up, man? Logan.
What up, G? What's poppin'?
Yo, when you made the video, the sunglasses colorblind video, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago. That was like a month and a half ago.
Month and a half ago, part of the daily vlog.
Yeah, daily vlogs.
Did you think it was gonna blow up that much?
No, man. We always try to create viral videos. That's our goal. Whether it's a vlog or a sketch, we try to make something, oh, can this go viral? The colorblind one, I just wanted to tell a cool story, and hey, can I call you back? I'm on a panel. All right, cool. Anyways, the colorblind one, I wanted to tell a cool story. We did, and the thing took off. It had like 10 million views in a week, which is my biggest YouTube video. It's much harder to get stuff to go viral on YouTube than it is for Facebook.
Is that just because how saturated it is, or
I don't
views
know,
counted
man.
differently?
You know why? Yes, I do know why. Because YouTube, there's no share button. On Facebook, you can share it to your page. Your friends can see it. YouTube, there's no share button. So like,
Right.
if it goes viral, typically it's because there's a recommended box on YouTube.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good note. Anybody else? When you said you try to make videos go viral, like what? I mean, that's every marketing agency is. We want to make a viral video, right? It's the most.
No,
painful
yeah,
thing to get.
it's horrible.
But what's the secret sauce? Is it
Um,
SEO?
that is the question. It is not SEO. I really believe that good content is good content, and if it's worthy of going viral, like it will.
Right.
And I've just gotten I have a good track record. I win much more than I lose. So I kind of know the system, and I think the best way to put it is that the internet is a language. The millennials speak it, I speak it, and I understand the language. I speak it really well. So I can make content. It's sort of just, I know it like the back of my hand. I know what's going to work, and I know what's not going to work.
Sure.
And like I said, after doing it for so long, it becomes very clear that, hey, this video has a very good chance of going viral. And I'm wrong sometimes.
Right.
But like I said, right more than.
What's considered a win? Like, what's the threshold of viewership where you're like, this didn't flop?
I don't really have flops anymore.
That's the best answer.
Like I said, I've gotten good at tailoring the content so
Sure.
that there is no bad content. And if it's not good, because I have a brain trust of people, I can shoot a video, edit it.
What does that team look like around you?
My friends, my demographic.
Got it.
You know, King Batch, Amanda Cerny, my roommate.
Other creators.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, do you think this is funny? Nah, man, I don't. Like, my feelings kind of hurt, but in the end, it's better for my career, right?
Right.
So, I know when I put out a video, it's gonna be minimum. You're gonna go, oh, that was good. Again, it's all about, like, when people see that name, Logan Paul, I want them to think a certain way. I don't want it to be like, oh, he pushes videos out every day that are kind of subpar. When I put a video out, I want it to be a banger.
Right. That makes sense. Any other questions from the audience? Anybody? No? It's going to continue to be a one-on-one with you and I.
Got one in the back?
Where do you get your inspiration for creating new videos?
I don't know. Like, when I was, like I said, 10, I asked my dad for a video camera. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know where that came from. I grew up in the middle of the woods in Ohio. And something about the aesthetic of putting things on a screen was, like, exhilarating to me. I was shooting still photography of flowers for 2 years before I even picked up a video camera, because we couldn't afford a video camera, but I could afford a digital camera. And I don't know, something about creating, lucky for me to this day, I still love it.
Logan, what's your point of view on, there are new platforms popping up constantly.
Yeah.
There's this new hot one called Musical.ly, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like generating a whole new creative class, right? A whole new generation of talent are bubbling up. Is that like, are there any, among your group, is there like a hesitation to collaborate like with a Jacob Sartorius or a Baby Ariel? Like,
Yeah.
what's the fear there?
Again, it's just the brand association. Like, yes, you will gain, yes, you will get numbers, but like, I don't know, there's a certain stigma when you say Vine star. There's a certain stigma when you say he's a muser.
Right.
The kids on Musical.ly. Do I want to be associated with that? Not really. I'll hang out with them in person. I'll do whatever. I'll DM them. Like, but at the end of the day, like, what we've built, like, is a business, and we should treat it like that.
Sure.
Especially to achieve what we all want to achieve. And again, if they're cool and if they're like genuine people, and I think, here's my thing, if you have talent and I think you can contribute to the stuff I'm making and make it better, like, I'll put you, I don't give a shit about your numbers. Like,
Right.
My friend George Janko, super talented, 0 following, and I just started throwing him in my stuff, and now he's got like 1.5 million across all his socials just because I gave him eyeballs. And
That's pretty wild.
And he's running with it.
Yeah. That's great. Anyone else? Yes?
Some do's and don'ts. Okay. Do be original, be unique, make stuff that no one has ever seen before. Do have something to offer that people are going to go, wow, I like this kid. Whether it's talent, whether it's energy, whether it's the way you edit, which I guess 3 is, if you want to be a social media star, you have to learn how to edit. You have to learn, because post-production, honestly, it's all in post. If you do a crappy edit, I mean, it's game over. And then 4, the execution itself. So when you're shooting a video, what does the angle look like? Is the room lit the right way? Is there something funnier that you should be doing in the scene if it's not working and the laughs aren't coming out? And a lot easier said than done, obviously, but those are like 4 very common denominators that all of the social media creators have. Sure. Like just being in a room with them, there's a thing they all have. Mm-hmm. And it's really cool. That's why we all hang around each other.
Are you still editing your own videos, or have you passed that on yet?
No, so I still do that. The vlogs, I do not, but for sketches, yeah.
That's like a common denominator. I've heard so many talents say, like, no one can edit the way I edit.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. The guy who edits my vlogs, he gets very close, and sometimes I'll have him maybe do a sketch, but we usually do like 10 drafts before it's right. But yeah, because it's our baby. You spend time making it.
Of course.
And I'm the only one who sees the vision and what it should look like.
Right.
It's hard
like
it's hard to convince other people what you're seeing.
Right. Yeah. All right, last call. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you so much, Logan.
Of course. Thank you,
I appreciate
man.
you swinging by.
Yeah.
And thank you all.